What's up, you guys? It's Ron here with your $2,000 fourth stimulus check and Social Security stimulus check update, plus the new bill in Congress proposing not just the one-time $2,000 fourth stimulus check, but actually $1,000 monthly stimulus checks for a whole year after that. And then there's the latest news on when we can finally expect the third stimulus check. For those of you guys who are receiving Social Security, VA, and even railroad benefits, watch out for that one. Also, what financial experts are saying about where the best place to spend your stimulus check is today. So find out about all of that, plus our latest home ownership tidbit on finding the right home for you. So really, I got a lot in store for you guys in today's video, so definitely sit tight and enjoy the show. But first, I want to say welcome back to all my subscribers, and I'm really hoping that you guys are having a great day today, and I really appreciate you guys. And for those who are brand new to the channel, my name is Ron. We cover all things stimulus, personal finance, investing, and how to generate multiple streams of income. So always keep watching for the latest and most accurate stimulus updates. So for those of you guys who are on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, VA, survivor benefits, railroad benefits, and the whole alphabet of SS's, your stimulus checks are coming soon. Now, for now, let's forget about all the noise and the finger pointing from all the lawmakers and government officials. Let's just get straight to when we can probably expect those third stimulus checks, right? So after the SSA, VA, and railroad authorities sent the necessary files to the IRS this week, Congress demanded that the IRS take quick action to deliver the checks. Now, in a statement on Wednesday, the IRS said that information on when stimulus payments for federal beneficiaries would be provided as soon as it becomes available. And they also noted that you can generally expect your stimulus through the exact same way that you normally would get your regular benefits. So this would mean a Direct Express card if you happen to have one. Now, according to Direct Express, the updates from the IRS on the timing of the stimulus checks or the stimulus payments are expected very soon. And this includes information for Direct Express cardholders who didn't file a tax return in 2019 or 2020. And they also clarified that only current Direct Express cardholders can receive their third stimulus checks on their cards. So basically, those who don't have a card already, they can't sign up for one now to be able to receive their stimulus check payment. Now, for those with Direct Express accounts that were recently closed or no longer active, stimulus payments will be returned to the IRS. And then, of course, the IRS is going to reissue the payment. So hate to tell you that, but that's the truth. That's what's going on with that one. Now, if you're still waiting on your third stimulus check, know that I'll keep updating this story in my future videos. So be sure to subscribe to the channel and tap that notification bell. That way you won't miss out. And you can also keep your eye on the IRS Get My Payment tool for a daily update. And of course, you can access that by jumping on Google and typing in IRS Get My Payment tool. So once you enter your information, it's going to give you all the details like, payment schedule, when you should receive your money, how you should receive it, whether it's going to be a paper check, direct deposit, and also if there's been an error in the processing of your payment. And again, the site only updates once a day, so no need to check it more than that. Now, for those of you guys who are waiting on a paper check, the U.S. Postal Service Informed Delivery Service is their free mail tracking service that automatically scans the letters, and it can alert you with an image. It'll just ding your phone, and there you have an image, and it'll show you, whenever a letter with your name on it is about to be delivered. And this includes, of course, your third stimulus check payment. So cool service, is free, and I'm just kind of like, well, why not, right? All you got to do is download their app, and that's pretty much it. So, and you can certainly look forward to a lot more stimulus talk as Representatives Rashida Tlaib and Pramila Jayapal, they introduced the Automatic Boost for Communities, or ABC Act. Now, this would immediately provide a $2,000 payment to every person in America. And guess what? It doesn't end there. The same proposal also includes a $1,000 recurring monthly stimulus payment throughout the pandemic and until 1 year after the whole crisis is over. Now, according to Congresswoman Tlaib, in the last year of the global pandemic, we have seen corporations and CEOs reap the benefits of payouts and soaring profits, while everyday workers, low-income people, and families across the country have been left to scrape by without any recurring, aggressive, and inclusive financial assistance from our federal government. And I totally agree. Congresswoman Jayapal also said, our legislation acknowledges that a one-time survival check isn't enough to get people through this crisis. Instead, we are sending out recurring checks every month during the crisis for a year after it ends. That is money in the people's pockets and certainty in their lives. And they also leverage the polling data from Data for Progress and the Justice Collaborative Institute that said that there is strong bipartisan support among the people of the country for payments on a recurring basis. That sounds really bipartisan there, right? With 66% of the public preferring recurring stimulus check payments of $2,000 until a year after the president declares an end to the federal state of emergency. Now, my question for you guys, are you a part of the 66% that's in favor of the monthly stimulus checks? I'd love to hear from you guys. Drop me a comment down below on this one. So definitely a lot more development still to come on this particular story. So I really hope you guys have already subscribed to the channel and hit that notification bell. I want to keep you guys updated and in the know on all of the new developments. And there's still a long stimulus road ahead of us. So, let me be your guide for all of the latest and the most accurate stimulus updates. So let's keep it going in this video. And in just a bit, we're going to analyze the real possibility of the fourth stimulus check. And let's see how probable this is, in reality. And we're also going to cover some advice from top financial experts on how to best spend your stimulus checks. Oh, and don't forget our home ownership tidbit on finding the right home for you. All that in just a bit, so definitely stay tuned. And if you've ever wondered if solar power was enough to be able to sustain your whole house, or if you've even thought about, a vacation in outer space, then you're not alone. The Matter Fam is waiting for you. And they're our partner channel that gives you all this fascinating science content in the most visually stunning videos. I especially enjoy how each video is a perfect length for a quick break away from your work or from your day. Do you have 8 minutes? Then you can learn about the next fascinating discovery out there. So just check them out for yourself in the link in the pinned comment down below. But of course, let's get back into the stimulus. Now, the question is, how probable are the fourth stimulus checks plus monthly stimulus check payments really, right? I mean, it all sounds great and all, but how realistic is this? Now let's take a peek and see where this pretty much all stands, right? So it's definitely a good sign that our lawmakers have already introduced a new bill for this. So, that I'm definitely optimistic just for that. Now, as for support, we do know that already 50 Democrat House representatives have already signed a letter asking for President Joe Biden to issue recurring stimulus checks to be able to help Americans cover their basic needs throughout this pandemic. But on top of that, 10 Democratic senators wrote their own letter echoing the same sentiments. Now, this group of senators includes, names like Senator Elizabeth Warren, Senator Bernie Sanders, and all of these different lawmakers are pretty much saying the same thing, that we need more stimulus checks and they need to be recurring. And it's not just the senators. We also have public opinion that's behind it. 70% of Americans have been surveyed by Pew Research, and they have favored the president's $1.9 trillion virus relief package already. Now, that's kind of a big deal here in modern America. I mean, 70% in agreement on anything is really impressive. And to be able to get 70% of the country to agree on a package that big, pretty good. Now, if that wasn't enough, President Biden himself also said recently, the one thing we learned from the 2009 financial crisis is we can't do too much here. We can do too little, though. Now, on the other side of the coin, there are reasons to doubt that the fourth stimulus check is actually happening anytime soon. Now, first off, Republicans are not playing ball here. Now, President Biden had high hopes, but in the end, the third stimulus check package was not passed with bipartisan support. Not one single Republican voted for the bill, and Democrats were forced to be able to use the budget reconciliation process in order to pass the stimulus package with a simple majority. Now, second, any stimulus check package would have to certainly bring up the Congress's favorite issue, which is the national debt. Now, it's funny how our lawmakers always seem to bring up this national debt whenever the other party holds a majority, right? But lastly, Americans are getting vaccinated left and right. Now, don't get me wrong here, vaccinations keep Americans and people in general safe. But in fact, it's such a good thing that it could be the spark that people need to go out, to go spend more, and to be able to go back to work. Now, with that kind of optimism, another round of stimulus checks is going to be hard to put by the wayside. But let me bring this home for you guys. So, top economist David Blankflower, he pointed out that $1,400 stimulus checks likely won't be enough. That's his own phrase there. So he said that the fourth stimulus checks could come as nearly 18 million Americans are still receiving unemployment benefits. And get this, Democrats also have the 2022 elections in mind, so they want to have a really good report card to be able to show the voter. So overall, this is how I see it. There is a need, people want it, so why not just give it, right? I mean, of course, there is the national budget, so, we can't just print money. I guess what I'm saying here, guys, is don't lose hope just yet. But I'll keep you guys posted on the latest and most accurate updates on this in my future videos. So question for you guys, do you guys think that a fourth stimulus check is actually possible? Now, before you answer that question, I want you guys to think back for a moment. Remember when there were talks about the second stimulus check? Remember how many different channels and different people were saying, oh, there's not gonna be a second stimulus check. Nothing's gonna happen with that. And then we got a second stimulus check. And then there was talks about a third stimulus check. Remember how many channels were saying, oh, there's no way there's gonna be a third stimulus check. And then we got a third stimulus check like a week ago, right? So the question now is, do you think that we could see a fourth stimulus check? I'd love to hear from you guys down in the comments down below. All right, now as for the present, let's talk about spending your third stimulus check. Now, of course, this is for those of you guys who are lucky enough to actually get your stimulus checks early. But for those of you guys who are still waiting, I'll definitely be sure to keep you guys updated with every new video. But now, what do the experts actually say about spending your stimulus check? Well, NFL linebacker at Kiplinger.com contributor Brandon Copeland says it's time to repair and replace. Now, according to him, you should use your check for everyday bills. Now, I think that goes without saying, right? But from there, you should pay down anything that you owe that's costing you interest like credit cards and personal loans. And from there, you can move on to repairing or replacing everyday items like around the house, or maybe even building an emergency stash. But once you're all set up for success, Copeland proposes that you look even further ahead for retirement by setting up or contributing to a retirement account. So we're talking like 401ks, IRAs, both traditional IRA accounts, Roth IRA accounts. But as for CNBC Mad Money host Jim Cramer, his first recommendations is to figure out exactly how much risk you're willing to take on. Now, if you're brand new to investing, he recommends putting your STIMI into a cheap index fund that mimics the S&P 500. And the further you are from retirement, the more risk you can afford to take on. Now, for him, age plays a big part in decision making. The younger you are, the more he's begging you to take on an aggressive stance on something speculative. Now, that means direct stocks. Now, you could also listen to social psychologist Elizabeth Dunn, who says you should spend your stimulus on something fun. She said because most of us have been home for months, we will likely experience a happiness reset. So even more modest vacations are likely to give us considerable pleasure. But if you want to be a little bit more practical about it, you've got Shark Tank's Mr. Wonderful and chairman of O-Shares ETFs, Kevin Leary. He says it's time to pay down your credit card. That is, if you can, of course. Now, Kevin O'Leary says that, between high interest rates and compound interest, which has you paying interest on top of interest, credit card debt can definitely be very hard to shake. Now, if you happen to miss the first half of our financial advice series, then you can definitely check out my previous videos. And that's where I shared advice from the first 4 experts. But what about you guys? What advice are you planning on taking? Do you guys have your own way of spending your stimulus check? I would love to hear from you guys down in the comments. All right. It's about that time that we talk about your future home and moving on up from renting to home ownership. And that's pretty much what our Tidbit series is all about. It's about your big move. So let's talk about the 3 categories to choose from here. So of course, you've got single family homes, and this includes manufactured houses, modular homes and PUDs, condominiums, co-ops, you name it, right? But in general, you don't have to stress yourself too much about this. Chances are you already have an ideal home in mind. And also your financial circumstances, your lifestyle choices, your personal needs will likely dictate whether or not you need to choose a single family house, maybe a co-op, maybe a condo. But at the end of the day, it's still really good to understand what your options are. All right, let's talk about single family houses. Now, you can easily imagine this, especially if you're the type who always drew this when you were a kid. In 2000, more than 60% of all homes in the United States were detached residences. And each was intended for a single family, hence the name single family house or single family residence. And the subcategories under these would be manufactured houses, modular homes and PUDs, or planned unit developments. Now, manufactured houses technically belong to the same group known as, mobile homes and trailers. But the big difference though is that they qualify as real estate, so they're mortgageable. And they're also anchored to their site. Some people are actually confused between manufactured and modular. So basically the big difference between the two is a modular home is delivered in pieces or modules, right? And then it's constructed or put together by a home builder. So you might think of them as substandard houses, but in reality, modular homes are recognized as equal to traditional ones. So according to professionals, like home inspectors, real estate agents, and even mortgage lenders. Now, lastly, PUD homes are built as part of a planned development. Now, these are usually a mix of single family residences, apartment style condos, townhomes, and 0 lot line homes. Now, typically, you're also going to find plenty of high-end amenities. And depending on the development, these might include communal pools, tennis courts, parks, hiking trails, and even 24-hour security. So you could definitely say that gated communities are often PUDs. Now, once you share a wall, then you're definitely moving into the territory of condos, co-ops, and townhouses. Now, condos and co-ops, they're visually the same. They just differ in terms of, who owns what. So basically with condos, you legally own the unit, but someone else owns the common areas in your building, the structure itself, and any surrounding land. But with a co-op, you don't actually own the unit at all. In fact, you and the other residents between you typically own the company that owns the larger property. So what you actually own and control are shares in the company, and then a board runs the whole show. And townhomes are those that share at least one wall in a neighboring property. Now, when you're talking about different houses that are all on one property, that's a multi-unit house. They might share walls or be completely detached. This usually works for multi-generational families that want to live together, but they still want their own space. You could also do this, or you could rent out the other units and generate some passive income for yourself. But overall, it's a pretty flexible setup. But I would love to hear about your dream home idea. Are you guys looking for a single family home or maybe a condo? Let's talk about it in the comments down below. I would love to keep the homeownership conversation going on. But let me know, you guys, if you guys are enjoying the content, or if you want me to shift topics like, talk about the stock market, maybe side hustles, saving money, or even building a business, maybe an online business. We can definitely continue our homeownership tidbit series in the coming videos. But if you want me to shift the topic and talk about something else, just let me know down in the comments, and I'll be sure to provide the info that you want to hear about. So anyway, guys, that is all for our $2,000 fourth stimulus check update and Social Security stimulus check update, the new bill in Congress for the fourth stimulus checks and monthly stimulus checks on top of that. We covered stimulus checks for those who are on Social Security and advice from top financial experts on where to spend and even invest your stimulus check. And we also talked about the different types of homes in our tidbit today. So we covered a lot of ground. I hope you guys enjoyed it all. If you haven't already, be sure to like this video. I put so much effort into each and every one of these videos. I want to not only provide you with your stimulus update, but also help you in terms of being able to invest and generate multiple streams of income, perhaps passive income. So if you're enjoying the content, be sure to subscribe to the channel and tap that notification bell. That way you know as soon as I release new videos and content, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Take care.